on Vivid's app, you can go and shop for new equipment. Their new cameras are like $700 a piece. So I'll say, look, and I did the math. I was like, even if you pay $42 for your monitoring, when you go to upgrade and add that $700 camera in, pay them $200 to come out and hook it up.
Yep.
Look at the price difference. Even at the 69 or whatever it is, we're still saving you over $1,000, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it just makes sense.
New panels, 800.
That's insane.
Yeah. But it's all proprietary. So like with us, we can set them up with the Google cameras, and then they can go and buy their own Google cameras for $100, $150. Set them up themselves, and they're loving it. They don't have to get in just with this company, and then there's a sunk cost fallacy.
And at the end of the 3 years, they still have their cameras. With Vivint, if you're not paying the bill, you're not gonna be able to look at the cameras.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So like, for example, like, okay, say that this, and this is just for you to know, you would never tell a customer this, but if you paid for the cameras and you got the cameras up, like, if they stop paying their ADT bill, they could just hook up a Google Nest account for $15, $20 a month and just use the cameras. And so like they're really cool.
That.
Huh?
Don't tell them.
Don't tell people that. But like in your mind, it just helps you give confidence about like the product that you're doing, because like you're not kind of leaving them with these cameras that aren't going to work, and like you can be confident that the product you're giving them is actually going to like help and benefit them. And so I don't know that.
Another thing with that too is Vivint, like, since all their stuff's in-house, like, they have to come out and fix it. They don't have the manpower to just send somebody whenever they want. And the thing with that is, like, they were going to charge one of my Vivint customers, like, literally $150 to replace a screw in the camera.
Oh, yeah.
And just because it's, like, that rare, it takes whatever.
400 for a dual.
And one of the things that you pitch with ADT when you're doing Vivint is just the actual service itself. It's like, so with the loyalty program, you get free equipment in the future. You're not having to go and pay this amount of money later down the road.
Price locks and local technicians, lifetime warranty. It's fine.
So especially with Vivint, or I don't know why it's been working in this neighborhood I'm in, but it's just, you like how what Kyle was saying is you talk, oh yeah, Vivint's great, they're fine, blah blah. But you say like, but we're switching everyone over, we're switching everyone over, we're switching everyone over.
Just some people notice this.
And then they go like, and then like you try to lead them into like, well, why is everyone switching? You try to lead them to that question, you go, how about this? You tell me why you don't like them, and I'll see if it lines up with the neighbors. And then they'll be like, well, I don't like whenever the, and then you're like, yep. And then they also do this, and they're like, yeah. And then they're like, yeah. And then you have to crap on it together.
Yeah. It's funny. If you can get them like at the start, like you're like, oh, how's the Vivint system going for you? Every single time, they will say, oh yeah, it's working great, it's working fine. And then like you'll get into it, you get into the house, and then they're like, yeah, I canceled it 3 years ago. Or like the doorbell cameras never worked. Or like I freaking hate it. It's terrible. They never answer my calls. Like this is the worst thing ever. Get this out of my house today. And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, you told me, and it's just because people like are defensive. Like exactly like if you go to Lowe's, hey, can I help you find something? No, I'm good. It's just a knee-jerk reaction. Like you're asking them like, hey, how's everything going? And like, yeah, I'm fine. And it's like, okay, cool. And just like probe a little bit and get in the house. All right, Cam, what's your shirt size?
Small.
What's the
Seven?
position?
Last one?
No, what's his issue?
Oh, that's Vivint. Oh,
No, question.
question.
Well, I've been struggling with, I guess, building urgency.
Building urgency?
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of TIOs.
We just do the same days in here. Zachary.
What do you need? What is the
What do you need?
urgency that's-
I don't know, I just feel, this is the most TIOs I've ever gotten.
You think you're not say today enough?
Probably.
Have you recorded a pitch lately?
I recorded one yesterday.
Listen to it and see how many times you say today.
At what point in the sale are you getting that? Is it right after you drop price?
Yeah.
Are they like, hey, yeah, like that sounds good, I just need time to think about it? A big thing I was talking to a few of the guys here yesterday about is like sometimes we're not repeating the 3 things that we need them to do before, you know, to close the system. I was talking to you yesterday, So, hey, keep the sign in the yard, don't brag to the neighbors about the price, and then be flexible with my texts. And so I'll say like, hey, that basically means we're out here for the day. My texts are following me behind right now. If we do this, we do it today. And so I say that right before I drop price every time. So now they can't pull out thinking that like, oh, I've got time to think about it. Now they know like, hey, it's, you have to shake them down.
That is the catch. So hey, like that is the catch, that we get this installed today. That's like the only catch. And then, like, you can like I usually maybe not repitching advertising enough. Like I'll repitch it probably 4 times in the house, just so that it makes complete sense. I'll stack close, write everything. Hey, you can totally think about it. I can send a text just like I was showing you, the install is a little pricey though. So I would love to help you guys out. And then just the catch is obviously for us to get 0. If you can help us out, we'll help you out. Does that seem fair to you, Cam?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, no worries. Now you said that you did like kind of have some plans. What I'll do, I'll just Uber some pizza here for you guys because I know you're gonna go out. What's your favorite type of pizza? Like pepperoni or meat lovers? What do you like? And I've used that before. And it's good. Like, yeah. Like if they have a plan, just like, hey, look, we'll get in tonight. If you guys want it, need it, I'll save you $275. Here's pizza.
Yeah, it would depend. It would depend where at. You know, like use Matt's line. If you're getting that on the doors and you think about, yeah, obviously I'm just here to give you something to think about and show you how it works for your house. And you can use that line. If you call up a company, charge you a couple $100, I can do it right now in 5 minutes. And like, I'll show you real quick. How many doors do you have?
Remember what
I guess
Mike
we
was
can turn the
saying?
back door and then transition in. But if you're getting it late in the sale, then you're not doing the tie downs.
Yeah,
Right.
Like Mike was saying, like the first time you get it, just blow past it. The second time, like address it, and then third time, you kind of got to like actually slap it down. So like if you're getting it, get TIO 3 times at least. With a TIO maybe 4 or 5. All right, Colton. I know Seth. Last one. What you got? What's your one-liner?
When I'm explaining advertising and why we pay for everything, I'll say the thing about with alarms is that neighbors just tend to buy what their neighbors have, right? So that's why we're covering the cost of all the equipment, because we know that if the neighbors see their neighbors using ADT, they're more likely to buy from us. And I'll say it just like that, like just with that cadence and like flow. And they'll be like, okay, that makes sense. Like that's why they're out here.
Do you say, does that make sense at the end?
Yeah. That's why they're out here and they're putting it in and paying for everything.
Say it one more time with the cadence.
We know that if the neighbors see their neighbors using ADT, they're way more likely to buy from us. Does that make sense? Am I doing my job right? Yeah. No. Okay, cool. Let's go in your house.
Let's go in your house. Let's go in your house. You got any cookies or like what do you got? Ice cream? Like what are we working with here, man? Oh yeah, this is the ice cream discount, man. Yeah, it's just $1.99. Great. All right, what's the question you got?
Honestly, it was Cam's like just getting TIO'd. I'm not using today enough for sure. I'm not like really stressing the importance of it.
Are you crime dropping?
Yeah, crime dropping. When there is crime, if it's like a low crime neighborhood, I'll just talk about change, like move-ins and stuff a lot. But
some of it could be weak words too. If you're saying a bunch of kindas and kind of a bunch of maybes,
right,
kind of, sort of, probably, almost, trying to, like that slows urgency down.
I think a big way too to like combat TIOs is honestly just like.
TIOs think it over, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. We want to take care of it.
We want to think it over.
We'll call you.
We're small.
We'll call you in a month.
Small t-shirt.
I think a big way for it is honestly just like marketing with people.
Yeah.
Like, or just be like, what do you want, man? You want like a second camera, like a door lock, just something where they feel special. Or even if it's just like a senior citizen discount, be like, this is what everybody else has paid. Look, Miss Linda, I need you to keep a secret. We're getting you for $69, right? And then they're like, really? And it makes them feel special.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good way to be like I said, the only way that we're able to do it is if we can just do it today.
Yeah.
And then you just like give them something extra. I mean, and you still make even if you lose $35 on it, you know, still a deal.
100%.
Yeah,
And like you can like sometimes like if you're really kind of being smart and you can feel the TIO coming, you can try and build a hot button on something like a key fob or an EP, and then like you can use that to back pocket it and like do the security, and then they like really don't, you know, they want it TIO. I was like, okay, well look, I only have one more of these to do today, and I want to get home. If I could throw in the emergency pendant and the light bulb for you guys, would that kind of just help you out with your decision? Does that seem pretty fair to you guys if we covered that? Obviously we want your house, it's beautiful for advertising. And then they go, yeah, like we could do it with that. And then you lost $70, but you made a sale. So it's like, okay, sure. Like it's better if you can kind of like use one of those first rather than a high ticket item, because that you might only just need like just a teeny bit to push them over the edge. But you're like, all right, what if we do 5 cameras? And like, well, why didn't you give me 5 at the start? And then you completely lose all your credibility. Like you don't, as soon as you get an objection, like just be tense with it for a little while. And like, yeah, like, well, we maxed out the advertising budget. This is what we can do. I mean, yeah, like I can try and do this, do that. Well, we can swap this out, do this. But if you're kind of like, okay, yeah, fine, 5 cameras. I can do that. So, well, why didn't you do it at the start then? Like, okay, so can I get 7? If you can give me 5 that easy, can I do 7?
A big thing is isolating the objection too, because like think it over, you don't know what their actual, it's the iceberg, right? That's just what they're telling you, but there's something underneath, you know, so like, hey, I've been in this job for a while, Sebastian, I'm here because like, you know, I don't want you to do something that you're not comfortable with, obviously. Did all of the equipment weigh over, did it all seem pretty easy to you?
Yep.
And if we covered the $1,600, does that seem pretty fair?
Yeah.
What's the main thing holding you back, if you don't mind me asking you?
I just don't like you.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Honestly,
Hey, come close this deal. Let's put the commission with you.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? How are you? Yeah. Oh yeah, sign me up.
A lot of the time, that's what needs to happen though. They just need to drop their guard, need to figure out what their actual problem or issue is. Because a lot of times when they try to explain themselves out of it, they realize they don't really have anything. And then once they kind of like get that out, and then they just feel like you're listening to them, then once you offer them a camera, or a free month or something like that, it's just more effective. Because a lot of times if you go, oh, I need to think about it, you don't even know which tool to use on them because you don't know what's going to work because you don't know what their objection is. So I'm going to make sure, hey, did all the equipment make sense? Okay, we pay for all the equipment, you just have the connection. Does that seem fair? Okay, and then maybe it is a pricing thing there. Then maybe I can pitch homeowners insurance discount. Maybe I can pitch a free month. Or you can even use Brady's line, like, hey, I'm not a dentist, Sebastian. Is this something that you actually could see yourself using?
Yeah.
What do you think you like about it?
The cameras.
Why would you like cameras?
I just want to be able to see my truck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're getting security to be smart to protect your home and your family. Do you think you're going to regret spending money on safety? Like, I get it, you know what I'm saying? And then you can talk about something, like, just be real with them. Hey, Sebastian, you got a Starbucks cup there. How much you spend on the Starbucks? $5? This is $2 a day. 2 less Starbucks a week, you can have security for your whole family. Here, I'm going to pay for your first month.
Slap down some cash, sign it up. And like part of the TIO as well, I think, is when we're not assuming a sale. So like if we're getting TIO'd a lot, like on every door, it means that the customer is controlling the conversation and that like we have given them a lot of power, and it means we're probably not transitioning through the sale. So like if you keep getting TIO'd, like say, okay, well, like it shouldn't be happening every single time. Like you should be progressing through the sale enough that you're locking them down. But if you're getting it all the time, it probably means you're like not assuming it enough and the customer's kind of taking too much control. So that can be part of it too. What's your shirt size, Seb?
Large.
Large. Alright, Coops, you got the prayer?
Yes, I was hoping to question answer real quick.
We can do one more.
Alright, Coops.
I get
He's ready to go.
I give my line real quick. I actually learned this from Maddie, and I used to launch software with people.
Maddie line.
Yeah,
This is good.
there she goes.
Maddie
So,
line.
I software with people a lot with this. Like after I drop price, I'll be like, and then the best part is that you're gonna get your home insurance discount on top of this. Who do you guys use for your home insurance? And then whoever they say, or especially if they say State Farm, like that's perfect. Especially State Farm because they partner with ADT, they give like the biggest rebates.
$1.3 billion they invest into
Yeah.
ADT stocks and shares. They bought
Yeah.
133 million shares of ADT in September last year.
Yeah.
Really?
So I'll just build it up. I'll just build it up as being really exciting, and then I'll ask them like roughly ballpark what do you pay home insurance each year. If it's a fancy house and they're paying like $2-3 grand, I'm like, yeah, you can probably expect like between 75 to like $200 back in rebates, and that'll just take your monthly down or whatever. We'll send a certificate of alarm to your email. What's a good email for that? And then you just do have text on the way.
Yeah.
Works really well.
It's a good way of like disrupting from the price drop. So like if you're, it's like you're saying $69 or no, it's not $69. It's $84.99. If you drop finance. So we say it's $84.99. Or $87, whatever. And and that's literally anything you do. And then instead of like when the alarm goes off, Cooper just does the home insurance, and both of them just kind of like transition.
Yeah.
So.
I like it a little better than when the alarm goes off because it's like you're giving them something to get excited about. So it just feels a bit less tense than, all right, pretty cool. Then my question is, I've recently had a lot of different hoods where people will literally say things to me like, all right, man, like, what's your pitch? Or, oh, you're like the third person this week to give me that pitch or the advertising pitch or something. It's actually happened multiple.
And do you kind of like buy into it and just speed pitch them, or what do you do?
I don't know what to do. That's what I'm asking. It's like I literally like started just going like, hey, like my pitch started becoming, hey, I'm not gonna pitch you. I know you get a lot of door guys through here. I want to use you as like a reference home for like what I'm doing out here or something like this or that. But what would you do, Kyle?
I'm gonna charge you for everything.
Yeah.
We're not paying for it. You're paying full price today.
If I know that there's been a lot of people in my neighborhood, I'll just like kind of make a joke, but also make it serious. But look, hey, look, before you kick me off, I'm not here to spray your yard. I'm not here to put panels on your roof. What we do is actually really important.
Yeah.
We're here just helping make homes safer and protecting the homes and families.
If they've had a lot of security out, I'm like, yeah, why do you think there's so many companies out there?
Yeah, and I got that. Like, oh, well, Vivint, yeah.
It's like, yeah,
I
like,
tell them,
there's
like,
a ton of security
Yeah, I'm
companies
like,
out
well,
there.
if there's a lot of
Stuff
security
going on.
companies in your neighborhood, don't you think it's probably for a reason? Like, I used that yesterday.
Shakes
There
them
were,
up a
like,
bit. They're like, oh.
People that went
Yeah.
before me.
Yeah.
Like, and I ended up closing them.
And you sold 2 yesterday. So you sold 2 after 3 companies went before you. That's
Yeah,
it.
one of them was Safe Haven, and then
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's a new company now?
And Brings.
Brinks, Safe Haven, Vivint. Wow.
Mine.
So like basically 2, they probably all have ADT in their pitch as well, which is crazy. So yeah, like disrupting them and making it kind of serious. Like I think if you aren't a professional, then they're not really going to want to buy from you. So yeah, like you know, I'll kind of like make a joke. Yeah, the other guys probably weren't as handsome as me, or like didn't have a funny accent like me or something. But what I am doing is pretty important. And like I'll kind of get like I'll laugh, and then like no, like this is.
I think the biggest thing too is like obviously now at this point in the summer we're gonna be knocking behind other people no matter where we go. We're gonna have to face this for the rest of the summer. I think the biggest thing is just differentiating yourself from all the previous guys who've been there. So maybe that's just having a conversation. Maybe that's making a joke that they wouldn't expect, right? Because what they're expecting is, oh, hey, how's it going? I'm here. We're doing this for you. Blah, 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 blah. They've heard it a million times. They slam the door. You just got to be raw and, like, just be genuine and be yourself.
Like your
And
ice
just,
breaker
like,
scoops.
Yeah. Use your icebreakers. Make a couple of jokes. And then they'll be like, well, what are you doing? And then you're just like, yeah, we paid for a couple homes. And then you go into it.
Yeah.
You know? But they're buying from you. That it's not really, when they first see you, they don't know Cooper. So they're just seeing ADT. But once they know Cooper, then they're buying you. They're not really buying.
And even
the
if you
product.
tell them you're not going to pitch them, you're like dressed in a door-to-door outfit. It's like a tiger saying it's not going to attack you. Like it's like yeah, like at some point you're going to get pitched. Like it's just like you are a salesman. So like I feel like that's almost disingenuous. Like you are going to pitch them. It's kind of like just break the ice. People buy from who they trust, and just get the conversation to breathe as much as possible, and just do your icebreakers. Like that's what you're really good at. So I would just if you're going behind a lot of people. Like disassociate them, shock them, use an icebreaker, and just talk, and then like soft pitch throughout it. Yeah, whatever. And if you're getting a lot of that, you can use the neighbors to pitch. That's like the best thing. Like, oh yeah, what we have been doing for so and so. I'm just letting you know what's going on here. What she liked about this, what they liked about that, what the neighbors have been doing with us. And it's not like you're pitching them. You know what I mean? Rather than like, hey, I'm out here for your home. What we're doing is this. Yeah, if you qualify, we do this, you get to pay this. It's like, yeah, actually, you know, and you just like sidle up to them, show them what you're doing in the neighborhood. I think that's way less threatening if you're like just sharing what the neighbors are doing and you're pitching it. Yeah, like the neighbors who understood the advertising we're doing, they helped us out and they got a bit of peace of mind, this, that, the other. And that's a really good way of doing it where it's very non-confrontational. And then once you transition into the home, then you can close.
Yeah. And one of my customers yesterday, they had signed up for pest control, and that was their main thing. They were like, well, we literally just signed up for pests. And I was like, look.
Paying like $1,000 a year or something.
Yeah, and I was like,
Eco Shield.
And I was like, well, look,
Crazy.
listen. And I was like, well, look, this answer, it's different for everybody, but for you, what would you prioritize? Like, obviously protecting your home and families from an intruder, or like a guy coming and spraying your yard for something that you can go get from Home Depot for $20. Like, which one do you think's more? And I do this with my hand. So I'm like, here's protecting your home and family. Here's like spraying your yard for bugs. Like, which one do you prioritize? And like,
But you gotta say that as the professional. Like if you're like, well,
facts.
it's like, well, which one do you think is more important? The life of little Jakey here, or the cricket? And they're gonna just get like pissed at you. So like, you do have to say it like pretty directly. If you're gonna use a line like that, like you have to commit to the line.
Hey Kyle, they canceled.
What's your shirt size, Scoops?
Kyle, they canceled.
Yeah.
Huh?
Do they cancel their pest?
I signed them up.
So they cancel their pest control?
Huh? I don't know if they canceled it, but they signed up.
That was the reason.
I think that's some good insight. Just listening to Kyle, guys, because like
What are you, small? Medium.
I was thinking back to like the off season, and I did interviews with pretty much every single one of you, and I told every single one of you that it was going to be hard, and each one of you told me that I'm willing to work hard. Oh, and I've heard it a million times. The guys that quit, they all said it, right? So all we have as men in this world is our words. So you told me you're going to work hard. Same thing, like it's a perception thing. Like when Kyle goes into those neighborhoods and you have, oh, we have 5 door-to-door guys. How do you take that challenge? Do you take that as, well, then I have no chance, or take that as a challenge, right? If you make that a challenge yourself, hey, there's 5 door-to-door guys. I want to be the one that closed them, right? And then you can challenge yourself, and you can make it exciting. So you can use those things that would normally negatively impact you to shut you off, to give you more energy. That's all this job is. It's just like tricking your mind to get more energy. Oh, there's a no soliciting sign. That means that Vivian didn't knock them. I'm gonna go hit it, right? Oh, there was different companies. All right, I get to challenge myself. If there's different companies, that means there's warm leads. That means there's people that failed for Vivian that I can go close, right? Whatever the situation is, you always have to spin it in your mind to make it a positive. And don't quit on yourself. You guys gave your word that you're gonna give it your all. Let's go give it our all today.
Let's go.
Okay. Alright. Heavenly Father, thank you that we get to do this job. All the perks that it brings, both in terms of camaraderie, character building, financial blessings. Help us to finish the summer out strong. A couple of us are a little bit tired. I pray that you would sustain us and give us energy and stamina, Lord. Help us to find people we can really bless with what we do and encourage and protect with our security, people we can really help out. I thank you that you gave your son to die for sinners like us. We pray all these things in his name. Amen.
Amen.
Swing, boy.